Hello, everyone, and welcome to another MyMusic. Today, I'm going to be speaking to Eona. Hello, thanks for
Hello.
joining me.
Thanks for
Coming all the way from
Hove.
Hove, near Brighton,
Mm.
sort of down the coast, the south coast of England, the opposite south coast for me, because I'm near the southwest coast, and you're the southeast coast. You see,
Yes.
but for anyone that's ever done it, if you've ever driven the wonderful coast road between the two, going past sort of Bournemouth and Portsmouth and then further on, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. Forget all of the other, big motorway stuff. Go that coastal road.
That way.
It's lovely, isn't it? If you've ever done that. And just follow the coastline and then, dip your feet into the ocean once in a while on the way. We should be dipping our feet into Eona's career in music so far
Yes.
after this lovely little video from the people at Analog Trash.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Eona, once again, thanks for joining me. And this is your real name. This is not a
Yeah.
stage name. This is not made up. And it takes inspiration from Iona. Is that right?
Yes. My parents got inspiration from Iona. And then for the first 2 weeks of my life, I was called Iona. And then they went through the alphabet and, went through each letter and decided Eona just stuck.
Oh, it's brilliant. Do you know how many other Eonas exist out there?
No, I've never met one. I've never seen one online.
I love that.
Yeah, maybe one day. You never know.
Oh, we should put that out as a challenge to listeners.
Oh, yeah. Reach out. Any
Right.
Eonas out there?
Absolutely.
I'm
If
curious.
you know an Eona, could you please get it's a bit like the tannoy system at an airport.
Oh, yeah.
If you know any Eonas out there,
Please come to the desk.
please come to the desk, and that'd be great. And then we could perhaps get you in touch with. And I reckon there'd probably be quite a small number, and especially in the UK. And then maybe you could have like a party at some point.
Yeah, I'd like that. We could all
An
meet
Eona
up,
party.
talk about our experiences with the name and everything.
Yeah, lovely. What a wonderful thing to do. Now, you make very special music.
Thank you.
Because it's a little bit jazzy and then it's a little bit electronic and it's a little bit ethereal and it's a little bit sensual. Where did all of that come from?
Wow. Well, I get inspiration from many different things. I really enjoy soul music. I enjoy house music. Massive Attack, one of my biggest inspirations.
Yeah.
So I was
Favorite
thinking,
song?
Angel. I love the music video as well. And there's so many different interpretations of what it means. And I wanted to create something unique. So I thought, why don't I just mix loads of different things together?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it happened.
So you're constantly looking for a melting pot.
Yeah, because I'm doing my master's right now at Water Bear, and one thing that they're teaching us is try and have a sonic fingerprint. So I tried to hone in on a few. Each of my songs will have some kind of trait from that style of music. So yeah.
That's an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
So what do you think here? If any of your lecturers are listening, they can mark you out of 10. So what do you think is the key components of your sonic fingerprint then?
Ooh. I would say the genre fusion itself.
Yeah.
So I mix a lot of South Asian instruments with traditionally pop instruments, like a little bit of electric guitar and some bass, like you were saying, electronic, kind of like a hip hop influenced bass. And then I would also say my contralto voice, the tone of my voice. A lot of people, after I perform, they talk about my voice, the tone of my voice. I would say that that's a fingerprint, you know, because that's going to be in everything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, someone who I think you'd probably relate to as an artist, and someone that's been on this show a couple of times is Lapsley. Have you, who do you have out there as other people that you kind of see as inspirational to you, kind of peer-wise at the moment?
Do you mean like artists, very successful artists?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Lana Del Rey, 100%. From a very young age, I was listening to her. And then when video games came out, I really enjoyed it because I could hear somebody with a very low voice, and it made me more confident in my own voice.
And it's very measured. It wasn't like a rushed pop song. It didn't have the staccato in it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And also, as I got older, I started listening to Sade. So,
Oh, of course.
yeah, another huge inspiration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a marvelous, marvelous voice. Have you ever heard the whole story of Sade and how
Yes,
they yeah,
he studied fashion
yeah,
and then joined a band. They were looking for, they were like a jazz band. Like
Yeah.
Sade is not just her, it's like the whole band.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was something to do with they were all together, and
Yeah.
then someone said, "Oh, you should hear her sing,"
Yeah.
and it's like, "What? They can sing?" And
Yeah.
then they went down to see her and whatever, and it was like, "Oh, wow, they can sing."
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Amazing.
I love all of those little stories about where
I love hearing people's stories. Yeah.
people come in.
Very interesting.
Do you? Are you a bit of a? Is that part of you and your writing? Are you a bit of a people person? Are you a bit of a people watcher? Do you? What is it that you look for in terms of human experience that you try and bring into your writing?
I like to write about things that lots of people can relate to. Something I do is when I watch films, I try and see things that are happening in films, see situations that I see in everyday life, and then try and write them in a quite a matter of fact sort of way, so that lots of people can relate to it, so that's very clear. I would say different things like everyday situations and also kind of difficult situations. I'm trying to expand my writing a bit more because I went to the folklore sessions recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there were lots of musicians there who just going to the beach and going for a walk and getting an ice cream, they wrote about it. And then I went to a jam night recently and I improvised and I wrote something about being in the lanes, and lots of people laughed in the audience. And I thought, oh, this is good. I should include more lyrics like that because it feels like you're connecting with people more and more people can relate. Yeah.
I think so. I think people like to hear little elements of their life in songs, but then they also like the escapism of songs as well.
Yes.
Isn't it? And it's kind of marrying the two, isn't it? It's kind of taking people somewhere else as well at the same time.
An escape from the ordinary. Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand.
Do you find that easier to do in your words or in your music?
I would say I like to have an epic sound with all of my songs.
Epic. Cool.
Epic. So
Yeah.
make it sound like it could be in a soundtrack. And in that way, you do get that kind of escapism feel because it feels like something that's out of the ordinary. And also, I like another part of my sonic fingerprint is like backing vocals. So with the song that I released recently on Bandcamp, there are a lot of like floating backing vocals that surround you. And that I kind of feel is like otherworldly escapism kind of feeling, even though the lyrics themselves can be something that everyone can relate to and experience in everyday life.
And this is another one for your lecturers. They'll love this.
Okay.
You'll be able to play this whole thing back to them.
Yeah.
What's been the thing that you've had to work hardest at?
Creating melodies that suit my voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are so many songs that I listened to before I started writing, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a great song, and I sing it as a cover, and lots of people enjoy it. Like I really like Michael Bolton, that kind of really out there song.
Yeah, yeah.
Try and do it myself. There are so many tricks, like, you know, certain words with certain vowels, so your mouth is open and, you know, it's more expressive. And I struggled with that for a couple of months. It took me a while to get the hang of, oh, when I write in this kind of style, it's kind of jazzy and that suits me. And yeah, trying to bring out the best in my voice in songs.
Where do you start and finish then when you're composing? Because are you kind of conscious of getting the melodies out, the vocal melodies out whilst you're writing, or do you complete the whole piece first and then start to try and work on those vocal melodies afterwards, or where does that tend to go?
It's interesting you say that, because I'm actually literally since yesterday, I'm trying to change the songwriting process that I use. But usually what I do is I watch a film or read a newspaper and I get inspiration from, you know, certain catchy lines or something that happens in the film. And then I just write. I just write as much as I can, like a giant poem. And then I pick some chords that I like,
Yeah.
and then just play them. I loop them, piano chords, and then come up with some melodies. And then I think that would be a good chorus. That would be a good pre-chorus. And that is good for ballads. It's good for soulful songs. But right now I'm trying to write more dance music and house music. And I was in the studio yesterday and really struggling because the chorus was very melodic and very open, but for a dance song, it needs to be punchy, and it doesn't matter, but I wanted something punchy and sharp and quick. So I was actually focusing on the rhythm, something more da 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 da, and then what words fit, what words rhyme. But I never used to think like that because I used to think of it just as a poem.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
I think, yeah, if you're going to go into that kind of genre, I think you kind of need to do that. You need to either think about, you almost want to put the words aside to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just work on either rhythmical singing or
Cool.
almost just like top lining little melodies that really sort of sit in, and then go, right, now what words might come from that. And actually that's a great example of where sometimes songs I've spoken to a number of people over the years where songs have come out of sounds, you know. And you mentioned you mentioned Massive Attack, and of course Massive Attack worked very famously with Liz Fraser of the Cocteau Twins.
Yeah.
And of course, one of Liz Fraser's things was that she very much used sounds, right?
Sounds. Yeah.
And actually, sometimes you couldn't even work out what the
words were. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of adds to the kind of otherworldliness, that escapism, like you're entering something that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And it's kind of like you go in it's almost like going in and out of like consciousness in a way, because it's like, oh, I know what that is. Oh, I don't know what that is. And then you listen harder.
You listen harder, you focus even more. Yeah.
Brilliant, isn't it? It's great the way music works. Are you enjoying doing your course?
Definitely. Because there are so many things that I didn't really think of before. Like I would just write for the sake of writing, but I wouldn't think about my sonic fingerprint. And once you think about it in that way, you're creating a catalog of music that kind of fits into who you are as an artist. And it makes it easier as well, the creative process, because it's good to think outside of the box. But if you have like 5 things that you must include in each song, it does make the whole process less daunting.
Mm. And I think the other thing as well is that whilst as an artist you might I think things have changed actually for musicians, in as much as I think years ago people with that sonic fingerprint probably sat in that sonic fingerprint their whole career.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas
Right?
now people are changing. Yeah.
I think now people know that they have to change that as well, in the same way that, you know, for sort of like social media and then live work and whatever, we've got, you know, people doing their eras and whatever else. I think it's quite important for artists to sit in that brand, if you like,
Yeah.
you know, for a while, and then almost try and deconstruct that and go, actually, there's
Do something.
maybe some of the key elements of that I'm now going to drop, because otherwise it's going to start to sound stale.
Yes. Yeah. And then you can just, that's the beauty. That's how art is so fun, because you can literally just turn around and say, I'm going to pick another 5 things to focus on, and this is going to be a whole other side of me as an artist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Is there any way you wouldn't go with your music?
What do you mean?
Is it, well, genre wise, or, you know, style wise? I mean, we're not going to hear you do Napalm Death or
No.
no.
I don't know, because I went to BIM. I did before I went to uni, I did my diploma in vocals at BIM, and I didn't have a band, and a friend of mine introduced me to his friends, and they were in a metal band, and then they were like, oh, we can support you at gigs, we can like play all your songs. And then I'm open to it. I would be, because they played me a lot of like heavy metal music, and you never know. I could just like
Wow. Love it.
It's a difficult technique to sing in that way, so I'd have to learn it properly. But
You got to look after your voice if you're going to sing in that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely got to look after your voice.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, we had someone on here the other day, and the 2 people that were being interviewed together, they were partners, and her style is quite country, and then he's in a doom metal band as well as what he's doing with her. And I said, you should make a Christmas hit which is country but then has a doom metal chorus. It would be great. You know?
That'd be cool, because I think especially now there's so much music out there, and so many people have a platform. Anything goes. You could just make something brand new.
I think people are quite open to quite complex music as well.
Yeah. You don't have to stay in a category.
Yeah. But even within the sort of context of a song, like a pop song.
Yeah.
You know, I think people are perhaps even more these days open to it winding around and going a lot. Maybe I'm talking nonsense there, because, you know, you look at Beatles songs like A Day in the Life.
I was thinking the Beatles, yeah.
You know, it sort of traversed through all of these different elements and whatever. I think maybe it's always been done, but maybe because people have got a wider vision of music now.
Yes.
Because it's so accessible. I think people are accepting of it coming in and out, you know. The Jade song, Angel of My Life, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great example of a song that's going here, there, and everywhere, right?
Yeah. And she did a completely different version as well. Like an orchestral or ballad version.
Yeah.
The same song, which I liked.
I think I think stuff like that's super, because it's just, you know,
completely other side.
Taking you on a little journey, and also showcasing different elements of your vocal technique and whatever as well, which is great. So what's the big ambition?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I would love to perform around the world.
Wow, cool.
That's my big ambition, honestly. Just
Yeah.
to perform and
Got your passport, you're able to
yeah,
travel. Yeah.
I love to travel. I went on like a little solo trip to Berlin for my birthday last year. And then I went to Australia before that. And then I spent
Wow.
about 6 months in Sri Lanka with family. So I just to be able to do that and do what I love at the same time that would just be a dream come true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope it happens for you.
Yeah, let's hope. Fingers crossed.
And what about, you know, sort of dream collaborations or dream opportunities? You know, if we could put you on stage supporting anybody tomorrow, who would that be?
I would say Giveon and McGee are my two biggest people I want to accompany or
It's
collaborate.
going to happen, right?
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
One day.
Yeah.
Someday.
It's just, you know, do you know what? I don't think enough musicians do this, but I think the best way of doing it is to kind of reach out and just say, I'd like to collaborate on a song.
Yeah.
And kind of make it happen that way.
Say hello and see what happens.
Well, because musicians are everybody, you know, it doesn't matter what level you're at. Musicians are fans of music.
That's true. Yeah. And I feel like collaboration is a huge part of making music for me. When I was younger, I used to just do it by myself. But I feel like working with other people, that other person has an idea that you didn't even think of. That's the whole reason why it makes it so fun.
Yeah.
And it gives you so much purpose.
It might take time.
Yes.
Right, because sometimes, you know, people's books are busy and they're, you know, they're filled up and whatever else. But you know what? I think sometimes it's worth putting it out there sooner rather than later. And it might be that that person then comes back to you 12 months down the line, go, I've actually got the time now.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, great, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do this.
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. I hope that happens for you. I really do hope that happens for you.
Yeah.
So what can we get people to listen to now of yours? What would you like to push given this opportunity, this moment?
So I Can't Resist is the latest track that I released, and that's available on Bandcamp. And I'd really, really love it if people could check that out. Before that, I was doing a lot of ballads, a lot of piano ballads, but this one, I really wanted to get that genre fusion. So it's got like South Asian instruments, got the tabla in it, but it's also got a lot of electronic instruments in it and soulful vocals as well.
And where are you on Bandcamp?
It's just Eona 2.
Eona 2.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll make it like a thing like this, and then people will remember it.
Remember.
Check out Eona 2 on Bandcamp. Don't check out Graham Coath on Bandcamp because what's there is awful.
Okay. That's like a warning message.
Just don't. No, it's all right. If you like weird electronic music, go and check mine out. But I'd rather you check out Eona's because that's great.
Or you can check both of us out. It doesn't hurt to check both.
You can, but you know, mine does need to come with a warning sticker.
Okay.
All right.
Just.
But you can check out the podcast as much as you like.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty proud of that. That's a great thing. You know, we're nearing 500 episodes of this now.
Wow. I was so curious. What inspired you to start the podcast?
It's a very good question. Thank you for asking. What inspired me was that it was at a time when I was just starting a new business and I was going to be making a lot of this kind of content anyway for clients. So I spend a lot of my day doing this. And I wanted to make something which I felt really spoke about me and could give something back and kind of incorporated and encapsulated my whole past.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
having been, been involved in music from a very young age. I was in my first band at 14, and
Yes. Yeah.
which is a long time ago, folks. That's a long, long time ago. And, carried it through, got to play with, meet, do sound for, interview along the way. Some amazing musicians. So I just thought, and also I started looking at what was out there, and I felt so many bad interviews, as I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah.
It's just like I get really fed up of these snapshot interviews that people now do on like radio stations, where clearly the people that are interviewing have not really listened to the music until 2 minutes before, and they don't really know anything about music, and they just ask banal, pointless questions. And I just thought, we can actually have better conversations about this, which actually get people to know the people behind the music better, which is why we called it MyMusic. You see, it's clever for anyone that, because it's your music, but it's my music, and it's everybody's music.
Everybody's.
You see, it's everybody's music. There we go. Thank you for asking that. I love it when guests ask questions. This has been the wonderful Eona, folks. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. And thank you for listening as well, as always. And if you want to, you can catch up with previous episodes of this at mymusicpodcast.com. That tells you a little bit about the story as well. Do listen to it on your favorite channels, and do give it a like and a review, because it all means a lot to everybody that's involved. And also on the website, there is now a community, and if you'd like to join it, please do. We'd like it. Eona will be invited into that community, whether she joins or not, I don't know. But
I definitely will.
She will be invited into that community as soon as we finished here. And thank you, and do come again.
Yeah.
We will be back very soon with more of the same. But until then, take care of yourselves out there, folks, and keep listening to music. Go and check out Eona on Bandcamp. Do it now.
Do it now.